Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers. Assalamu alaikum. Now, if you have any question, I would be happy to answer your questions. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer your questions, yeah. So, alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. MashaAllah. Nice to meet all of you and nice to be with you guys. Okay, Brother Abdullah Qais says, what is the proof of Sheeth alayhi salam in the Quran and the Sunnah? Sheeth alayhi salam is not mentioned in the Quran. He's mentioned in a hadith, in the Sunnah, but it's not authentic actually. It's daif. But there isn't anything to... we can believe in that. Especially he's mentioned in the Bible and mentioned in a hadith that is not authentic, but it's not so weak actually. And scholars mentioned them. Ibn Kathir rahimahullah mentioned them in his Bidayah wa Nihaya. I think even Ibn Jarir al-Tabari mentioned them. A lot of scholars mentioned them, yeah. So there's no matter to mention Sheeth alayhi salam. Yes. It is said that he was a prophet as well. We don't have lots of proofs about that, but that's what we have in some narrations, yes. My goal actually in this lecture is to go in details. The lecture is not... I can finish it in 2 lectures actually, but I don't want to do that. I want to focus on the poem to give you more knowledge that you would benefit from. I know that most of you participated in several lectures. One can ask me, is this poem an Ash'ari or an Athari creed? I would like to tell you that you can... It's an Islamic creed, that's it. No Ash'ari, no Athari. It's for everybody. All Muslims need to know about these things. So you can't say that it follows a specific school. Okay, Brother Anwar says, could you repeat Ibn Taymiyyah's quote in Arabic about the 2 hearts? قال رحمه الله: القلب قلبان قلب يحوم حول العرش وقلب يحوم حول الحش. الحش means the bathroom, outside yard where people used to go, and it's the office of nature. The office of nature. Okay, Abdullah Qais says, from my studies, it appears if the 73 sects hadith is actually weak, what is your opinion? No, hadith is authentic. It's not weak at all. And scholars mentioned it and proved it. If you want me to send you the proof about that, I would send you the proof about that. So it's an authentic hadith. It's not a weak hadith. Some nowadays want to say that it's weak, but they don't have any... They neglect or they don't pay attention to a lot of proofs that it's authentic. They just want to say that all types of sects are brothers and that's it. We don't say that other... Now when we say that other sects are in hellfire, that's a threat. That doesn't mean everybody who is not Sunni, he's going to hellfire directly, immediately. No. It's like when you say the women who don't wear hijab are in hellfire. That doesn't mean that every woman dies and she doesn't wear hijab, she would go to hellfire. You know, there is something that we say in the Islamic creed, is that when you come to speak about something, you balance between several things. For example, the Prophet ﷺ had one of his companions called Abdullah Himar. And he used to make lots of jokes and make the Prophet ﷺ laugh. But he used to drink. So every time he drinks, they capture him, they come and they beat him, because that's the punishment of drinking. So once one of the Sahaba said, قَاتَلَهُ اللَّهُ مَا أَكْثَرَ مَا يُؤْتَى بِهِ. God damn this guy, every time he keeps on drinking and coming and getting beat. The Prophet ﷺ said, no, don't say that. لا تقل ذلك فإنه على ما علمت رجل يحب الله ورسوله أو يحبه الله ورسوله. Don't say that. This guy, according to what I know, is a man that God loves and His Messenger, or he loves God and His Messenger. Subhanallah. He drinks. And drinking means that he is damned. The wrath of God is on him. The Prophet ﷺ said that the one who drinks, he has the wrath of God on him. He said, the Prophet ﷺ, that al-khamru lu'inat al-khamru fi ashrati awjuh. Hamila, the one who picks the wine, the one who serves it, the one who drinks it, all these are condemned. And then this guy who keeps on drinking and getting beaten, he loves God and His Prophet, or God and His Prophet love him. Because you don't know, when it comes to judgments, God has His own way to judge. You are not supposed to judge people according to what you know. That's not your work. That's not your job. Yes, you condemn things that are wrong, but you're not allowed to say he will never go to Jannah. He will be in hellfire. That's not your job. There's a hadith, very horrible hadith, where two friends, one of them was righteous, one of them was always keeps on committing sins. So once the righteous person, every time he sees his friend that makes sins, he keeps on saying, "Fear Allah, stop doing these sins. Fear Allah, stop doing these sins." Once he came, he found him doing a bad sin. So he said, "By Allah, God will never forgive you. Wallahi la yaghfirullahu lak." So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from over 7 heavens said, "Man dha alladhi yata'alla alayhi." Who is swearing on me? قَدْ غَفَرْتُ لَهُ وَأَحْبَطْتُ عَمَلَكَ. I forgave him and I made all of your deeds demolish. That means as if you didn't do anything. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu narrated this hadith, said, قَالَ كَلِمَةً أَوْبَقَتْ دُنْيَاهُ وَآخِرَتَهُ. He said a word that lost his life and his hereafter. So never put yourself in a post of a judge to judge people. That's not your work. That's not your job. Never say, well, God, these guys aren't going to hell. No. You say they are threatened. That's why we said in the Tahawiyya, قال رحمه الله, ولا ننزل أحدا جنة ولا نارا نرجو للمحسن ونخاف على المسيء. We never say that this guy would go to paradise, this guy would go to hellfire. We expect for good guys to go to paradise, and we are afraid that bad guys would go to hellfire. I'm not speaking about non-Muslims, I'm speaking about inside Islam. So it's not our job to judge people, but you can condemn, you can say this is wrong, you can say taqillah, you can be angry when you see bad things. That's what we have to do. But you're not allowed to say that in the hereafter so-and-so is going to happen to you. That's not your job. That's not your work. Yes. So, okay. Okay. Brother Yahya Skifton says, yes, and can we have a copy of the handwritten picture of the poem? Yes, I'll ask for that, inshallah. I'll ask for that, inshallah, and I'll send it for you. I'll put it in the group, inshallah. Yes, I'll show it to you, inshallah. So, Brother Abdullah Qais says, would Salafis accept this creed as well? Yes, I told you, because it's a poem that is an Islamic poem. It doesn't have anything to. It's not Ash'ari nor Salafi. Both of them would accept it because it speaks about things that everybody believes in. Yes, it might be more Ash'ari because the way it is, it's similar to the poems of Ibn Ashir. You know, the Creed of Ibn Ashir. It's similar to it, but more brief, more summarized. It doesn't go in details like the poem of Ibn Ashir. And the poem of Ibn Ashir is based on the works of Sanusi. I will say that, inshallah, next lecture, inshallah. I'll show you that. That means Sanusi made several works on Creed. And all of his works became the cornerstone of studying Creed in all North Africa, maybe even in all Africa. So it's like they made his books as the books of studying. He has a creed called Al-Kubra, and then Al-Sughra, Al-Aqeedah Al-Kubra, and then Al-Wusta, and then Al-Sughra, and then Sughra Al-Sughra. So the biggest creed, and then the middle, and then the small. The small creed is called Ummul Barahin. It's the one that everybody used to study in North Africa. And it's the one that Ibn Ashir made in the beginning of his poem. And then he has one which is the smallest one. This is similar to the smallest one, although it might be less than it. It might be more briefer than it. They even call it Aqidatul Hafida. That means the granddaughter, because the biggest, and then the after it, and then after it, it's like, and he made commentary for all these books. And last time when I visited the book exhibition, I found that they compiled all this work in one group of books. Very beautiful, actually. But it's an Ash'ari creed anyway, which follows theology, ilm al-kalam. It's not the way that our great Imams, Salaf, used to write books. But this one, anyway, is in the way that you can't say it's Salafi or Ash'ari. You can speak about all main things that everybody needs, yes. طيب. Brother Iyad says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Iyad Al-Kubri from Texas. Hayyakum Allah, Akhi Kareem. In the United States. Okay. Shaykh, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. How would a blessed poem like this from a blessed Shaykh get lost and have the Muslims become familiar with since it's been found? I don't know, actually. Wallah, I don't know. Because maybe when Shaykh wrote it, he didn't take care of it a lot, or he didn't, because there's no commentary on it. He didn't write any commentary on it. And no one wrote any commentary on it. I wish I have some time to write a commentary on it, actually. Maybe this is the first, or I think there are some commentaries, oral commentaries on the YouTube. I think I saw some commentaries on the YouTube. And I think after the work of Shaykh Umar al-Faruq, I think the poem started becoming known because it's published now. It's published, and and I think, subhanallah al-azim, according to what Brother Harun says, that there is a sheikh who told him that people in Azhar study this poem. I don't know that. I never heard about that anyway. But this is what Brother Harun says, that a sheikh in Egypt called Abdullah Ghilan, I think so, I don't know, told him that people in Egypt study this poem. I never heard about that. Allahu A'lam, actually. But anyway, as we found it written by the daughter of Sayyidi Muhammad bin Ja'far, that means it's an authentic poem. And don't forget that lots of scholars had work that people didn't pay attention to. Muhammad Ghilan, yes. Don't forget that there are great scholars that had some work, an interest in work, but people didn't pay attention to. I will tell you about lots of poems or books that Moroccan scholars wrote, but people don't pay attention to. SubhanAllah, last time we studied, and we made it as part of the program of Ibn Abdul Bar Academy, العقيدة الوغليسية, المقدمة الوغليسية. When I started, I gave it I teached it in Arabic, and I went in details in Arabic more than in English. Lots of people told me, "What's Waghlisiya?" They don't hear about it, and they didn't hear about it except professionals, scholars that are professional. They know it, but lots of people don't know what is Waghlisiya. And the same thing we can say about lots of work. For example, there's a small booklet actually, that teaches the primary things in worship, prayer, fasting, by Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Qadir al-Fasi al-Fihri, one of the great scholar in Morocco. But a lot of people don't know about it. They didn't take care of it, and so it's not. Sometimes people don't pay attention to some books and stuff like that. It's not something that it's not something that is strange. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hayyakumullah, Brother Salim. Do the Shaykh Muhammad bin Ja'far rahimahullah have other books of or booklet of Aqidah? Yes, he has a book called ما لا يسع العامية جهله, things that the layman has to know in his Aqidah. It's a small book, yes, and he wrote things that have to do with other things. SubhanAllah, I don't. But books that you study in Aqidah, no, this is only the book that I know. He has a book about what people need to study. Yes. Both commentaries are not connected to the poem, but they use the poem to go into different issues. I've studied both. Umar Farooq's goes heavily into kalam and cosmology and mantiq, etc. Muhammad Ghali's Muhammad Ghilan's goes into the importance of unity and not splitting hairs and Ash'aris. What's Ash'ari? Verse Athari, fighting. Okay, that's good. Okay. Jazakallah khair for the early response, Sheikh. Would this book be taught before Usul al-Thalatha or after? Well, it's similar to something like that. It can be before or after. Doesn't matter. Why? Because it speaks about something like what God has to have and what is impossible and what is permissible. the same thing. This is the Ash'ari way of writing creed anyway. And the same thing for the prophets. What is obligatory? What is, according to logic, I mean, what is obligatory? What is impossible? What is permissible? Would be the classical Aqidah curriculum in Morocco historically. Yeah. Normally they used to study al-Barahin of Sanusi they call it. But what do they study about that after that? I don't know, because normally Moroccans didn't used to focus a lot on the creed. Aqidah, they take the main things and that's it. They focus on fiqh more and stuff like that, but they don't focus a lot on Aqidah actually. This is what I discovered. And that's why they're not so deep in Aqidah. Imam al-Maqqari, al-Tilimsani, wrote a poem that is very beautiful in poetry. It's called Ida'atu Dujunna fi Aqa'id Ahl Sunnah, and people used to take care of it, especially now. Until now in Shangit, they take care of this poem. But after Sanusi, what did they used to study? I don't know actually. I don't know, because I don't know a lot. So they have a lots of. That's why you find that they used to study Ibn Ashir with the poem of Ibn Ashir, with the Aqidah of Ibn Ashir, and then they study Risala with the Aqidah of Risala. But of course, when they have the commentary of the Risala, they have an Ash'ari commentary on it, which is like the commentary of Abu Hassan al-Manufi or other scholars that made their commentaries on that point, on that introduction, the Creed of Risala. After that, do they go deep? That's maybe some scholars go read old books that are known of the Ash'ari Creed, like Al-Aqa'id Al-Adud Al-Iji and others that were written in the big books, if they have the time for that or they are interested in that. But the majority didn't used to take care a lot about these things. And they might study even the introduction of Imam al-Ghazali to his Ihya Ulumuddin, and it's called Al-Aqidah al-Qudsiyya, and there's a work by Imam Zarruq on that creed. But I didn't hear that a lot of people used to take care of that. Although Imam al-Waghlisi says if you want to go in details, you can read Al-Aqidah of Imam al-Ghazali. Yeah, that's what they used to take care of. Okay, I think this is enough for today. And inshallah, if we can, inshallah, next time. It's up to you guys. Do you want to this lecture to stay Sunday or to make it on Saturdays? The same time, I mean. What do you think? Is it Saturdays better or Sundays better? What do you think? Saturday is better for me, yeah. What about the others? What's easier? Well, for me, it's we're in house. We don't go out of our houses. We're always here at home nowadays. So for me, it's all like each other. Okay. Anyway, we can put the question on the WhatsApp group, and then brothers can give their opinions, inshallah. Brothers can give their opinions, yes. And then we will decide, inshallah. Because some brothers, it might be difficult for them. Yeah. Because some would like to go to their work on Mondays and stuff like that. I don't know what is the program for everybody. And don't forget that after a few days, we're going to have Ramadan. We're going to have Ramadan, inshallah. So anyway, this is enough for today. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Inshallah.